Um, okay, well, let's talk about, I mean, at some point in time, what goes up must come down. That's Newton's rule of gravity, and it applies to stock investing as well. So Warren Buffett indicated just past 200%,
Hmm.
and that's the biggest red flag for overvaluation. Is it the biggest red flag of overvaluation since 2000? Which, if you're not familiar with Warren Buffett's indicated, pretty much it's saying when stocks are too high,
Yep.
so it's overvalued as far as what the realistic price should be for a stock, which I mean isn't surprising because stocks at an all-time high right now.
Hmm.
So that's not really surprising that would read that way. But it's also saying that okay, at some point in time, this thing is going to pull back.
Hmm.
So what do we make of the Buffett indicator saying that this is a very very overpriced stock market right now?
I do agree. I do think there will come a time. So we're in year one of Trump being in office. Maybe around year top of year three, we will see a little like a pullback, and then the AI trade, this version of it, will start to fizzle out. That's why the onboarding of OpenAI is really important to keep the market stable as they introduce the second phase. The gentleman from BlackRock talked about it on here a few weeks ago, to introduce the second phase of the AI wave.
Hmm.
Um, are stocks incredibly overvalued? Some. I was saying this on Stock Club call yesterday, though. There's a fear of that this is mirroring 99 and 2000. The stocks that are quote unquote overvalued, Nvidia, AMD, you can even argue Palantir, although they're having some issues, Microsoft, are probably 5 or 6 times better than the companies in 1999 and 2000. This version of Microsoft probably is better than 25 companies in 2000. Cisco, that version of Alphabet, Washington Mutual, Bank of America, Citigroup, way better run, more cash on hand. So, is there an overvaluation? Yes. Has it been driven up by AI? Yes. But are the companies exceptional? Yes. Are we going to have a 30% crash in the next year? I don't think so. And there is more money lost waiting for an aggressive crash or pullback like you had in the Big Short than you will have if you just held for the long time. My last point is it's okay to understand to wait for a crash. And I was saying this on Stock Club call yesterday. But then when moments like April happen, if you're not
Hmm.
constantly putting money into the market, you're going to miss the crash anyway. Everyone in April, I know like probably 200 people in April who are like, well, I'm waiting for it to go further down in the market. I'm like, no, now's the time to buy. I went on air and said it at Good Day New York. Shout out to them. And then people waited and they're like, what's the next move? April's over with. Now we're in October now. Record gains.
Hmm.
So waiting for a crash is good, but the habit of putting money into the market consistently on a monthly or quarterly is way more important. I think this is a little bit overhyped for the companies that I've talked about for sure.
Can I don't want to say he's wrong, but this is unprecedented times. And when we think of the term bubble, right, and especially when they use 99 a lot, right, when we're talking about the dot-com bubble,
Hmm.
we're talking about over evaluated companies um, that couldn't really meet the expectation of what they were being valued at.
Hmm.
The, the big difference here is that when we look at earnings growth from quarter to quarter, especially
Insane.
companies like Max, they're actually earning money.
I haven't seen anything like this in my lifetime. The
So
amount of money that they're making.
it's tough to justify it as a bubble, especially the AI sector, which is pretty much dominated and carried the market. When you talk, I mean, when we talk to the gentleman at BlackRock, when he says that we're in the early innings of this, because earnings are matching the valuation, so valuations are going higher.
Hmm.
Will there be a pullback? For sure, there'll be a
For
pullback.
sure.
Yes, of course, everything doesn't run hot forever, and at some point, new investors are going to want to get better prices to own these equities at, and so there will be a pullback. Um, but do we see earnings having a complete reset in the next couple of years? It's tough for me to see when a company like Nvidia, it has the market share that they have, has a 51% profit margin.
Hmm.
I'm looking at their spend. I'm looking at the CapEx spend, and we talked about it last week of all these Mag 7 companies. They're not slowing down on the spend. I'm having a tough time with the word bubble when it comes
Okay,
to this moment.
I
Go
got
ahead.
you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a bubble? Okay, I want to be very clear. If you're not in that tech consortium of the elite, NVIDIA, OpenAI, Anduril, Palantir, Tesla, AMD, you're fucked.
In the
Salesforce,
ecosystem of AI,
Sales,
you saying?
Salesforce, even Intel. Has OpenAI done a partnership with Intel yet? That's telling. Like once again, stop trolling. You can say whatever you want to because that's going up because that's Trump's investment.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, not many partnerships are coming, and that will have a reduction. Even like if you look at, not like Salesforce, like Benny off a lot, went from 365 to 238, and no prospects of being the darling that it used to be. So if you are outside of that tech all-star list, that AI all-star list, it's going to be tough for you in 2 years for sure. I don't want to
I
cast
mean,
any aspersions against individual companies because I don't,
yeah.
but it's going to be very tough for you. So is it a bubble if you're outside of that circle? But even the ones that are in the circle are once in a lifetime, generational, exceptional CEOs, companies, management, and talent at those institutions. One of a kind.
So the CEO of Goldman Sachs warns of an AI drawdown. So is that just to be disregarded?
I think he's spot on for the ones that are non-exceptional. And the bigger lesson I want to stress for the next, Magic said 3 years, right? If you're not incredibly exceptional, one of one, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have an incredibly hard time delivering high returns. Like, okay, take a company, and I really like Moynihan as a CEO at Bank of America. Would you invest in Bank of America over Coinbase or Galaxy or Robinhood at this time?
No,
I wouldn't. It's tough.
no.
Will Bank of America be okay? Of course, because it's a pillar of American banking. Certain agreements happened in that last kerfuffle and drop in 2008, 2009. There'll be a beacon of safety for sure, but they're not exceptional. So they're going to have a tougher time. In the next 3 years, you as an entrepreneur and investor have to be exceptional and invest in things that are incredibly exceptional, or you're going to see a decay in your returns and decay in your money. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So here's my issue with this. And this is why I say just follow the money, right? Because literally today, and this you can look this up, the Goldman Sachs, right, their analysts actually raised the price target on the leader of the AI revolution, which is, we agree, is NVIDIA. So their analyst, James Schneider, pointed that NVIDIA's investments and partnerships with companies such as OpenAI are a driver for future gains. While these partnerships could introduce some degree of uncertainty, the analyst is optimistic that NVIDIA's outperformance in other verticals could offset any potential risk. They've actually raised the price target to 210. So if you're looking at NVIDIA now, I think it's trading at around 184, 185. That's like 20% gain.
Yeah, I just gave my 3-year price of 305.44.
So now think about it. Your CEO is saying one thing, but the people that are actually tracking the technicals and following and moving the money, they're saying a completely other thing.
I think
we've seen this before, right? With JP Morgan.
I think the rule of thumb is everything outside of that tech AI inner circle, though. I don't want to say any names, but certain tech companies, if they're not in good standing with the administration and they're not on board with NVIDIA, and if they were not on that conference board, the keynote that Jensen gave, I'm not pro it.
Right. So, and I agree with you. I don't know if we'll see the past 5 years of NVIDIA is something that we've never seen. We probably won't see it again. So at some point it may slow down, but there'll be another company, right? So, and I know there's been some talk about Gronk, not the AI that Elon actually owns, Gronk, which is spelled GROQ, which is another semi that is a private company now that eventually, they look like they can be a competitor inside this space. There'll be another semi, or there'll be another GPU that will help launch another wave of AI. So the AI downturn from the CEO and listening to what their professionals are saying at the firm, two different things, man. There will be a pullback for sure, and we need it. Downturn, collapse.
Okay. Downturn and pullback are the same as not the same as crash. Is there a bubble outside of the non-exceptional companies? For sure. I just highlighted all the exceptional ones. As NVIDIA has been picked for damn near half a decade.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm 100% with you.
I want to be clear on that.
I think like we just got to figure out who are inside that. We call it that ecosystem. Like we just talked about that circular economy.
Yeah.
There are other companies that are part of that circular economy that are going to benefit. And yes, some are going to fall off, and some their valuations have been raised because they feel like they could be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But listen to the partnerships and follow the money.